Hey folks, we're out here in the marsh checking some traps today, and like we said on the first video, if this whole series ends up getting 100,000 views, everybody who leaves a comment and subscribes to our channel, or is a subscriber to our channel, is going to be in the drawing for a beaver pelt, a tan beaver pelt out of my own stash. So come on along, we got some traps to check. I got a call from a friend that the beaver are here working over his beautiful grove of willow trees along in Spring Creek. It's supposed to get really cold this week, supposed to get wind chills down in the 30 some below. So I thought I'd come in and see if I can catch this beaver tonight and hopefully put him out of commission. I would bet any money this beaver has been booted from somewhere else, or he got froze out and he had to move into this Spring Creek and he doesn't have a feed bed, so he's knocking down these willows trying to get one. So when you put that much effort into building out groves of mature willows, the last thing you want is some rodent coming in there and wiping them all out. Let's go see what we can do here. It's gonna be cold. Well, you see what this beaver's done right here. He's girdled about 3 or 4 of them like this. So a beaver prefers to swim upstream to get his food because it's easier for him to float it down to where he's living. So I did a walk down to the slower part of the creek here, and it's deeper. The banks are taller, so he could have a bank den there where they find an old muskrat den or something, and they just dig it out and make it bigger, and that's where the beaver lives. They live right up under the bank. I'll show you here, right below this tree where he's been coming up out of the water, there's a really good ambush set where he's naturally coming into a tight area. And if you can find a spot where they're naturally doing that and you don't have to push them or guide them, that's even better yet. So, right back behind me there, that beaver is in big trouble. And you can see there's a natural funnel where he likes to come in. And he's coming right up to this tree that he's been chewing on. And for my sake, hopefully he comes out here and we get him taken care of before it gets even colder. I think I'm gonna throw another trap in here just in case it's a travel area for him. It won't take very long. Not sure what'll come of it, but I'm gonna give it a shot just in case. Well, the other day I came out here by myself. That footage is going to be really bad because I filmed it. But I'm driving by this morning. You see that tree there? A beaver has really girdled the crap out of that since yesterday. I have a beaver trap about 20 yards downstream from there. So let's go see it. I'm optimistic. If I miss this beaver that came that close to my trap, Dale, I'm quitting. This is what this beaver did last night. All these shaving that are on the top of this snow is what he did last night. You can see where he came out of the water right there? Well, he had started working on this tree a couple days ago and it just had the bark girdled off it. So last night he did all of this. So
that's wild.
I got that trap right here. And when you see this natural funnel, it's like any self-respecting beaver, any beaver worth his teeth.
It looks like he started over there on that one too.
Yeah, all these trees he's been starting on. But my trap's messed up. Oh yeah! Woo! Big Betty! Woo-hoo! Look at that sucker! Huh? Oh! Oh yeah! Teach him to be all screwing around with Randy Newberg. Whoo! Suey! Huh? Oh! Whoo! Look at that beady-eyed little thing. That's a good one. That's not a little beaver. Big old flat tail. I used to do these by hand, standing on them. There we go. When you see a really dry and prime beaver like this, they're just beautiful. You can understand why the mountain men came out west to do this. You're gonna be hard pressed to find a beaver that is of a higher quality than a February beaver. These are called Western Reds. So if you were taking this to the market, even though he's an unbelievably beautiful condition beaver in February, at the market, you're gonna get a lot less than if this was a northern Minnesota dark.
Gotcha.
In the Midwest, Alaska, Canada, some of them get almost jet black.
Really?
Or at least a dark chocolate.
Yeah.
And those beaver are worth more. Just preference for the fur trade.
Color. Huh.
See how much he weighs.
Jeez. He's gotta be what, 20 plus pounds?
Oh yeah, easily. He's more like 30-ish,
yeah.
Over 30, probably 35. I'm gonna walk through real quick how to get the hide off. There's all kinds of things you can do with beaver. This one, we're gonna take the tail, we're gonna take the hide, or pelt, or plume, it's often called with beaver, and then we're gonna cook it. So, a beaver gets skinned way different than any other animal. A beaver actually ends up being a circular pelt. Most other animals end up being like a tube-shaped pelt. So, what we're gonna end up doing, we're gonna make a cut right down from the bottom jaw, all the way down, straight line, right to the vent, cut around the vent, and then we're gonna start skinning the hide off this way, do one side, skin the hide off this way and do the other side, and then we're gonna flip him over, and then we're gonna get the hide off the back, and then we'll do around the head. So the whole idea behind fleshing is get all this meat, all this fat, anything that's gonna go rancid and cause your pelt to have any type of bacteria or other spoilage here, because if you get spoilage on the leather, the hair will start to slip. If you had someone who's really good at fleshing, the whole hide would be really clean like that. Fleshing is my least favorite part of trapping. I send them off to get garments made out of them, and they have their own fleshing machines, and for just a few bucks, they'll do it. But anyhow, I want to show you, this is the other part of it. This hide, I'm gonna get ready to freeze. So what you do, you saw that I went flesh to flesh, and I folded it again, flesh to flesh. So I'm gonna roll it up like this, and Dale's gonna grab that bag, and we're gonna put a first bag over it. I'm gonna squeeze all the air out, and Dale's gonna grab a second bag. Air is your enemy in the freezer. Now Michael's gonna follow me over to my freezer, and I'm gonna show him how many beaver pelts are in my freezer at any given time. 1, casters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beaver pelts. All right, folks, if you've never eaten beaver, it's actually quite mild. I'm gonna take these hind quarters off, front quarters off, see what I can get off here, and we're gonna eat this beaver. See that in there? Found it. This is salvaged casters from a beaver that I'm gonna put in my freezer, and I'm gonna use it to catch more beaver. Most people sell their casters. They dry them and sell them. I don't.
Randy and Dale caught this beaver, and so we're trying to cook it up. But we got a cool opportunity. Kara works in a place that actually has people who know what they're doing with cooking. So we have a real chef coming to cook the beaver tail. And I think he's already done some stuff. We're gonna have him explain what he did to the beaver tail. I got the hindquarters and front shoulders that I braised and threw in a crock pot. And so those are kind of going in the office. We're gonna pull those out, finish them on the birch barrel along with the beaver tail. So I'm excited. Hopefully learn something from someone who actually knows what they're doing.
In case the beaver sucks, we brought you some beef. Have you guys had beaver tail before?
No,
I'm excited.
I'm curious.
So we got this beaver tail here. We sous vide it for 6 hours at about 145 degrees. I put some seasonings that I make in house and let it sit overnight. See if we can get some of that flavor into the tail. It's pretty hard. The skin was pretty hard there first for a little bit, but then I think the sous vide really broke it down. So now that it's sous vide, we're going to sear it, and the purpose of that is to try to get this exterior skin that's not edible, so we can get into the fattier meat inside. So we'll see how it comes out. Job done. Not getting any of that
Barbecue sauce? Yeah, I made it.
Stiff. Okay, there we go.
Here almost tastes like a unprocessed pork skin.
Making me a beaver sandwich here.
It's actually pretty good.
I have eaten beaver many times, and I will say this is the best prepared beaver I've ever had.
That's like, yeah, monk fishing.